Hey there, welcome to my channel B&B Update Us 24. Sheila's redemption story is given by B&B Luna's departure, and Steffy finally embraces her mother-in-law. The Bold and the Beautiful, B&B, spoilers indicate that Sheila Carter's redemption narrative will finally give her the acceptance she desires. Sheila has been making every effort for the past year to persuade Steffy Forrester to welcome her into her family and permit her to speak with her son, John Finn Finnegan. When Luna Nowaza loses it and confronts Steffy with a gun, Sheila steps in quickly to prevent her granddaughter from committing a grave error. She fights with her to take the pistol away, and in order to keep Steffy safe, Sheila gets shot. Luna loses it and shoots her grandmother. According to teasers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna thinks her life would be better if Steffy were gone. She views Steffy as a barrier and the only explanation for Finn, her biological father, not wanting to date her. That isn't entirely accurate. Yes, Steffy is against Luna being around. Can anyone blame her, though? Luna locked Steffy in a cage that was going to be demolished and murdered 2 innocent people. If Finn hadn't found Steffy, she would have perished. Sheila wrestles her granddaughter for the rifle while Luna points it at Steffy and says things like, "Steffy is the only thing between me and my father." Then Sheila collapses as the gun goes off. Luna shot her grandmother in a panic. Terrified that she will be the next, Steffy stands in front of her. Is Sheila a hero, according to Steffy? When everything is said and done, Liam Spencer will dash into the temporary art school to save Steffy. Luna shoots the weapon and turns it on him. Liam's condition deteriorates to the point where he enters a coma. A third individual, who is bound in the closet and is most likely Steffy, Luna, or the teacher, is shot. Not a single individual will survive. Luna is probably the casualty because her departure must be imminent. However, Luna appeared on the September 8th episode due to a script leak. Her presence in September might be a flashback or anything like that. According to teasers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy praises Sheila as a hero for attempting to spare Luna's life by stealing the weapon from her. Steffy might reconsider her decision to exclude Sheila from their lives as a result of this experience. Maybe she'll realize her mother-in-law isn't as bad as she used to be. She could tell that she had grown and fit in with their close-knit family. After Sheila saves Steffy's life, do you believe Steffy might welcome her into their lives, B&B fans? Finn and Steffy are astonished by Poppy's startling reaction to Luna's death. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful show how shocked Poppy is to hear Lee's news of Luna's passing. Carter, Hope, Steffy, and Finn see her say she's glad her daughter is dead. Learn the heartbreaking specifics. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful. Poppy's stunning reaction to Luna's death leaves Steffy and Finn stunned. Everyone is shocked by a mother's cruel remarks. There was silence in the hospital room. The worst news was recently delivered by Lee Finnegan. Luna Nozawa was no longer there. Lee and Dr. Forrester tried everything, but the young woman's injuries were just too bad. However, what followed? No one anticipated it. Poppy Nozawa stood amid the faces of mourners. Her daughter had recently passed away. But no tears were shed. No malfunction. Rather, she repeated those icy words. "Like I said, I am glad my daughter's dead," while staring Lee in the eye. Observers of a callous moment. What Finn Finnegan was hearing was unbelievable. They were referring to his biological daughter. Indeed, Luna had committed horrible crimes, including shooting people, threatening young Hayes, and kidnapping Steffy Forrester. She was still Finn's child, though. And her mother was present, rejoicing in her demise. Steffy was motionless next to her spouse. Perhaps she should be relieved after all Luna had done to her. However, witnessing a mother celebrate the death of her child? That was a whole other matter. This felt wrong, despite all the fear. Carter Walton and Hope Logan looked at one another in disbelief. At Forrester Creations, they had seen a lot of drama, but this? This was freezing like never before. What kind of nasty remarks may a mother say? What caused this startling incident? Poppy and Luna have a long-standing animosity. Luna had set up the murder of her own mother. While playing home with Bill Spencer Jr. and posing as his daughter, she would let Poppy rot in prison. A mother and daughter who had betrayed one another in the most heinous manner were both victims of the treachery. Still, though, your kid has passed away. The physicians made every effort. Dr. Forrester and Lee battled to keep her alive. And you say you're happy in response? What will become of the Finnegan family next? This alters everything. In addition to losing his daughter, Finn must also come to terms with her mother's total lack of sorrow. Will he entirely cut Poppy out of his life? Will Steffy be able to support him during this, or will their relationship be strained by Luna's passing? Lee must also be in shock. Their already complex connection is further compounded by her sister's callous response to her niece's passing. Word of Poppy's startling remark will spread like wildfire around Los Angeles, with Hope and Carter as witnesses. Poppy Nozawa just showed her real colors, that much is certain. They're also darker than everyone had thought. She simply raised the bar for callousness in a town full with secrets and treachery. The question today is whether Luna's passing signifies the end of this perverse chapter, or if she will be held accountable for her harsh remarks. Is Luna no longer alive? The secret of Liam's coma and Sheila's startling injury are out. A juicy leak regarding the shooting that claims Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, dies is seen on Bold the Beautiful. Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, sustains a very strange wound after being shot by her granddaughter, and Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, ends up in a coma. We will discuss the three individuals who were shot, who end up undergoing surgery, who pass away, and who suffer the most bizarre injuries. Beautiful and Bold leak. 3 shots, 1 death. Official Bold and Beautiful weekly spoilers tell us this. After being shot, 3 persons are taken to the hospital immediately. Additionally, one of them fails to show up. Additionally, some inside information about the shooting victims' outcomes has surfaced. Although it appears like Steffy Forrester, played by Jacqueline MacInnes Wood, is not one of those shots, she might be involved in one of them. If you're up to date on B&B episodes, you'll notice that Luna was aiming at Steffy and Sheila was standing between them when I recorded this Monday late afternoon. Now, I'm not sure why Artie attempted to kill Luna with a wrecking ball after Steffy chose to slap her while she was holding a gun. It's not a sensible move. Brave and gorgeous, Sheila stirs up trouble. However, Steffy sneered at Luna, said that she would take the art instructor, and then left. At that point, things started to go sideways. Steffy started to walk away. Luna was also prepared to shoot her. Sheila, however, into the fray and fought with her granddaughter. Then the rifle exploded. We witnessed Luna at Beach House Art School gazing appalled before Sheila fell to the ground. Although it appears dreadful, if the leak is accurate, it will likely be strange. Before that, Luna continued to complain that Steffy was to blame for Finn's lack of interest in a relationship with her or Sheila, but her grandmother would not have it and warned her to stop. Bold and the Beautiful leak, Sheila's strange injury, Liam's coma, and Luna's death soap dirt. Was Liam Spencer shot and left in a coma? If you watched Monday's show, you are aware that Sheila is officially Luna's first one-shot on Bold and the Beautiful. Now that Sheila has been defeated, Luna appears prepared to eliminate Steffy as well. Then, however, things change. On Tuesday's episode, they're going to step things up a notch and head to Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, who is outside the art school talking on the phone with Hope Logan, Annika Noel. Liam is expressing his love for Hope and his intention to be with her for a very long time. He declares that he will not be leaving now, tomorrow, or anytime soon. Liam will undoubtedly be in serious problems as a result. According to the source, Liam appears to be the second one shot following the phone conversation with Hope. I presume that Hope and Liam are tinkering with time once they hang off the phone. As he dashes into the house after hearing the gunshot where Sheila is shot, he finds Luna pointing the gun at Steffy and Sheila on the ground. It appears that Liam will most likely play the hero. He either diverts her attention. Luna either gets between the pistol and his ex-wife Steffy or turns around and fires. Liam's extra lives. Brave and lovely. In that case, if Liam accomplishes this, he would be the second guy to take a bullet for her. Because a few years ago, when Sheila was using her gun to take pot shots on them, Finn did the same thing. Therefore, the source of this information regarding Liam being shot next has a stellar record of providing correct information. I'm sharing this information with you because I'm taking them at their word. It's a leak, in my opinion. However, I have a strong feeling that it is a spoiler and will occur this week. According to them, Liam will end up in a coma when Luna shoots him. Additionally, as I mentioned, we are unsure of whether Liam would jump between her and in front of Steffy and take the bullet, or if he will rush in the door and Luna will turn around and simply shoot the gun in a panic. He's already going to die. Will Liam's shooting cure his cancer? It's bold and beautiful. Thus, this is somewhat intriguing. I thus thought that Grace, Ben, Bridget Forrester, and the neuro team would come up with a last-minute miracle treatment for Liam's incurable cancer. In a recent video, I made a joke about Liam possibly getting cured by being shot in the tumor. I don't recall if it was about the 2 weeks or the forecasts. I was joking. To be honest, I kind of expected something like that to come out of this leak. She won't likely shoot him in the tumor, in my opinion. However, since Liam is in a coma, Grace might devise a cancer brain tumor treatment that is only feasible due to his condition. Like, maybe they're willing to do anything risky because he's about to die anyhow. Luna may ultimately save Liam's life by shooting him. It won't spare her life, though, because the same leaker claims that Luna is the third one shot and the one who dies. Bold and the Beautiful. 3 surgeries ahead. On Bold and the Beautiful, 3 procedures are scheduled for this week. You might see the physicians rushing if you watch the promo. Bridget, Grace, and Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, are all tending to a gunshot victim. And let's face it, if Lee were doing the surgery on Luna, she would undoubtedly let her die on the table, just like she did when Sheila suffered her heart attack years ago. It is not appropriate for Lee to operate on her grandchild, even if they were adopted, as Lee was only prepared to watch Sheila pass away from a heart attack without taking any action. However, Finn intervened and prevented her death. Additionally, we are aware that Bill Spencer will be visiting Liam at the hospital this week. He is not making any excuses to Ridge Forrester or Taylor Hayes for what he did, which was to pardon Luna and set the stage for the current sad chain of events. Given that Luna shot Bill's son Liam, it is clear that the pardon has come back to haunt him. Luna was shot by whom? The possible serial killer of Bold and the Beautiful. Who shoots Luna now that Sheila is dead and Liam has been shot? Of course, it might be the police now. However, they haven't arrived yet. And since Luna's grandmother merely appears to have a flesh wound, something that is quite treatable, I prefer to believe that Steffy or Sheila is the one who shoots her. Now, since Steffy believed she had fatally stabbed Sheila, I wouldn't rule out shooting Luna. However, it was Sugar, her doppelganger. Steffy can therefore be deadly. Additionally, I think that if she shoots Luna, Steffy will have killed 3 people. Ali Forrester was first, followed by Sugar. Furthermore, I believe that Steffy would be considered a serial killer if, as the leaker claims, she is the one who shoots Luna and she dies as a result. The technical criteria is met if 3 or more persons are killed. Additionally, it would indicate that Steffy had murdered 1 more person than Luna. Steffy's stepdaughter has it coming, let's face it. Naturally, Sugar did as well. Regarding Steffy being a serial killer, I'm joking. However, if she does shoot Luna, it will be because she deserves it and needs to be shot. But Sheila might be the one to reach up and take the rifle from Luna. Sheila's strange injury, trauma to her toes in Bold and Beautiful. Let's now discuss the strange wound that Sheila Carter sustains after being shot by Luna. Sheila loses, wait for it, another toe, according to the same source that claims Luna dies and Liam is left in a coma. Strange, isn't it? I will state that the gun was pointed downward between Luna and Sheila as they struggled for it. So, in the direction of their feet. Sheila is already exhausted, by the way. What's 1 more, then? She has some extra. Sheila will undoubtedly live if Luna amputates another toe, but perhaps they could provide her with a bionic new toe or something. As for Liam's fate, presumably Bill's heard that his kid was shot. According to teasers, all he wants is to see Liam. However, I'm also curious as to when someone will bring up Liam's deadly brain tumor with Bill. And I do wonder if Hope is crazy about him and rushes up there. And it begins to change things with Carter Walton, you know, assuming Liam lives, which he eventually appears to. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful. Luna's departure and Liam's possible miracle. Since Lisa Yamada is already away filming her upcoming Amazon Prime series, Luna's death is the one we anticipated. The film serves as a prelude to Legally Blonde. I re-watched it this past weekend in order to mentally prepare myself for this season. And my goodness, it's still a wonderful film. It endures. So, Sheila should be alright after this. However, unless they discover it and sew it back on or something, it will go down another toe. If Liam is shot to defend Steffy and the bullet turns out to be the miracle he and his loved ones have been waiting for, saving Liam from dying of the brain tumor, that would be quite a twist. Let's see how this leak turns out. However, they have a perfect record thus far. I am therefore feeling pleased about it. As Luna Nozawa's vitals fell and monitors shouted their icy, mechanical alarm, flatline, the bold and the beautiful fell apart. Under a sea of surgical lights, the young woman who had just discovered family, love, and belonging among the Forresters lay still and mute, her life hanging in limbo while a group of desperate medical professionals, commanded by a shaky but resolute Lee Finnegan, battled to save her. The sterile white walls of University Hospital absorbed the sorrow resonating through its halls, while family members clung to one another in weeping disbelief outside the surgery room. And just when it looked like the day would go even darker, Steffi called Hope Logan, which would shake the show as a whole. Time stopped as Steffi spoke in a voice that was barely coherent and with trembling hands, delivering a statement that went deeper than any scalpel. Hope. Liam's been shot. Hope's knees buckled beneath the weight of the news, and she dropped the phone on the other end. Her entire life, which was based on shared memories, co-parenting, and the complex love she still had for Liam, collapsed into complete chaos. As she imagined her daughter Beth growing up without a father, she hurried to the hospital with a desperation-driven speed, her eyes wide with terror and a scream in her breast every second. But for everyone in Liam and Luna's orbit, this was more than just Hope's trip. It was a collision of tragedy and unadulterated humanity that left no one unaffected. Liam's body lay still in another wing, plagued by complications from the bullet wound that had penetrated not only his chest but also the hearts of those who loved him, while Luna's life teetered on the brink. Once serving as a link between the Logan and Forrester families, the guy now represents something much more significant: sacrifice, fate, and the harsh unpredictability of life in the most dramatic zip code in Los Angeles. Within the operating room, Lee Finnegan, typically calm, clinical, and unflappable, was a woman coming apart at the seams, refusing to release Luna, yelling commands through tears, and stretching the limits of medical science in an attempt to preserve her niece. "Get moving, little girl." With each chest compression, her voice was raspy, her hands were covered in blood, and her soul was exploding under the strain of losing family once more. "Come back to us," she pleaded. In the trauma unit across the hall, Liam's condition remained severe as medical professionals attempted to stabilize him following an overly drawn-out surgery. His breathing was faint, his pulse was fading, and his future was unknown. Even a successful extraction might not be sufficient because of a bullet close to his heart, a latent brain tumor that made anesthesia difficult, and significant internal bleeding. Bill Spencer, stoic and silent, stood in the hallway staring blankly at the wall, trying to comprehend the possibility that his son, the man he never fully understood how to father, might not live to see another sunrise. However, it was the emotional bleeding occurring just beyond the surgery doors that revealed the real story. He was accompanied by Wyatt and Hope, who both brought a fragmented version of Liam's narrative with them, one as a brother, the other as a soul-bound ex-wife whose heart never quite broke. Hope in particular was struggling to stay afloat. She sobbed as she rushed through the emergency hospital doors, pleading with the nurses for Liam's room number. She was gasping for air as memories of their time together flashed through her head like lightning: his laugh, his touch, his promises, his remorse. She didn't fall this time, but her knees gave her again as she walked to his room and found him pale, comatose, linked to machines, and struggling for every breath. She understood how much she had taken for granted as she stood there crying and whispering his name. Any animosity or uncertainty that had tainted their relationship had vanished, consumed by the blaze of this instant. As she pushed her hand to the glass and prayed more fervently than ever, she was overcome with love, the type that doesn't always make sense but never really dies. And yet another fight raged elsewhere in that same hospital. Luna was still gone. Minutes went by. And more. The flatline tone that appeared to reverberate through the souls of everyone in the vicinity had taken the place of the beeping. Finn stared helplessly as the girl he had come to see as family drifted farther away while Lee yelled and Bridget sobbed. 2 lives were on the line, 2 families were torn apart by fate, and a fandom was waiting to see whether anyone would make it through the bloody aftermath of this terrible day. It was a furnace of emotion. Even though it was heartbreaking, this scene was beautiful because it connected the show's emotional history in a profound way. We had hope in one corner, Logan blood, a heart that would always be connected to Liam, and Forresters in her orbit. Another was Lee, a mother who had already lost a son and was now battling to save her niece. Then there was Bill, the multi-billionaire tycoon, who was now overcome with sorrow after realizing that no amount of money could restore his son's health or time. When love, loss, legacy, and loyalty all clashed under the fluorescent hospital lights, this was the bold and the beautiful at its most powerful. Fans witnessed not only a woman in agony as Hope sat next to Liam's bed, holding his hand and pleading with him to stay with her, but also a reminder of all the wasted opportunities, obstinate arguments, and postponed I love you moments we regret in real life. The moment of profound quiet, followed by turmoil, followed by tears of amazement and delight, came just as the doctors were about to call time when Luna finally gulped for breath. She had returned. Seldom. But back. Not as a doctor, but as a mother figure who had just gazed into the abyss and dragged her child back from it. Lee fell into Finn's arms at that precise moment. As if his body was still debating whether to hold on, Liam's monitors continued their eerie pattern, faint yet steady. Hope remained by his side. In the same breath, she extended forgiveness, made pledges, and murmured recollections. She made a whispered promise as she brushed his hair out of his face and kissed his forehead. If he lived and woke up, she wouldn't waste any more time acting as though she didn't still love him. Too much time had been spent persuading herself that she had moved on, that Thomas's story of atonement was sufficient, and that she could change the reality in her heart. For the first time in years, however, she was able to see clearly as she sat in that hospital room while machines kept the man she had once called her soulmate alive. Liam and Luna weren't the only ones involved. This dealt with time and truth, 2 concepts that the bold and the beautiful frequently explores but seldom presents to us in such an unvarnished state. And in that reality, we witnessed what makes this soap opera so timeless, its capacity to transform melodrama into meditation, to examine loss, bravery, hope, and the strength of human connection through hospital scenes and love triangles.